Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You already know who it is. Targeted individual CJBK, aka Chris James. We are live here in New York City, over by the West Side Highway. And I worked a different area today. You know, and it's interesting because every so often. I always wonder in my mind, like, oh, is this gonna be job mobbing? I mean, because I've experienced a light version of job mobbing, but for the most part, I haven't really necessarily noticed anything completely obvious. Like some TIs, like let's say one TI job, he's like a grounds crew, or groundskeeper, whatever. And his manager, who's probably a part of the, secret society, whatever, told him to, make sure he rake up all the leaves and clear all the garbage. That's it. That's in the vicinity before you move on to the next thing. So you would go and you would do all that, right? You think you done did your job. You leave. You feel like, all right, he ain't gonna come at me about this. All of a sudden you get a call or a message from your manager talking about something. Hey, I thought I told you to do this and do that. And then you're like, what you mean? I did. So the next thing you know, you go back and you see that, the whole area is dirty again. Or even worse, let's say, like in my case, I'm delivering packages, right? Let's say that I'm supposed to have 48 packages, right? Mind you, I have to go somewhere to pick up my route and my packages, right? And while I'm there, I basically have to count them all before I leave to make sure I have everything, because that way, if something were to happen along the route, it won't be on me. Once I have all 48 of those packages with me when I'm at the base, then that means I should have all 48 of those packages before I leave that base, right? I mean, when as I'm doing those stops, right? Now, mind you, yeah, things get stolen from time to time. I do live in New York City, but then that's also another thing too. Is some people will say, oh, it's New York City, people steal all the time. But then when you think about gang stalking, it's the consistency of how frequent someone probably steals from you, which is what would raise flags with your employer. If you just had like if I just happen to be someone who just happen to has things missing from his routes or his itinerary, like often or frequently, and I know I'm not stealing it, but it just always seems like every time I leave the hub, I have on my bags, but then all of a sudden, as I'm on my delivery, or when I leave the hub, all of a sudden I'm missing a bag. And you try to be mindful. You're like, okay, maybe I might have accidentally put, one bag with a different, address or delivery, whatever. Maybe I made a mistake, whatever. But it's the frequency. It's the frequency. It's like how frequent does it happen? So then at some point you can't just keep saying, okay, maybe it's me. No. At some point, if it happens frequently, then it's like, yeah, maybe somebody is doing something to you, job mobbing. Maybe someone's trying to sabotage your job. But until you actually can prove that, you never know. Until you can actually prove that somebody is actually trying to sabotage your job, you can't even really press nobody about it. You can't walk up to nobody about it. You can't say you think somebody did something. You can't even let other people know that you think somebody's stealing your packages, because that's the problem with this whole secrecy thing. You don't know who's all a part of it. You could probably be the only one at your job who's not a part of the transhumanist, population. I mean, because let's all be reminded, they're no longer human, right? They're no longer human. They've changed so much about their DNA, including all of those who took the VS. Um, but I mean, for the most part, yeah, you just gotta learn to just maintain your peace in all circumstances. And I know that's unfair. It's unfair for somebody to be told, "Oh, be calm, relax, don't get mad." All these things. Don't allow yourself to be, taken over the edge because these people are doing these things. I trust me, I completely understand that it's unfair. It's unfair. You don't deserve any of the things that's happening to you. But here's the reality. It is. It's happening to you. So it's like, I don't condone committing suicide, but I also don't condone, I don't condone killing anyway. I don't condone suicide, and I don't necessarily condone killing anyway. Unless it's absolutely necessary. Like, somebody is really, like if it's absolutely necessary, like somebody is really actually trying to do you harm, and they're right there, and it's a clear and present danger, then that's different. Everything else is basically a mastering of your emotions. Mastering your emotions. Because from what I gather, we can't react physically. We can't allow our emotions to dictate our physical, like how we react to things physically. We can't allow our emotions to do that for us, because that's what they want. They're waiting. They're why do you think they got the technology part? I mean, if you want to get into V2K, then that's perfect. I honestly believe anybody who don't have V2K, you got it better off than the rest of us, because you don't have someone in your ear talking smack 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they are no better than you. Not one bit of them is better than you. Always remember this. Always remember this. Anytime somebody needs to put you down or pull you down or talk some shit about you or what you wear, remember this. Remember this. They're pulling you down. Remember that. They're pulling you down. Meaning, they already set the tone. They already let you know that they are afraid of you. They already let you know. And then you know what? The minds, certain coaches might know what I'm talking about. Maybe Taco. I don't know how many people read or know about certain things, but I'm like, the minds would get highly upset because I said, "Oh, they scared of you." So what they'll do is basically say, "Oh," they'll say, "Oh," I don't know who he was talking to. I don't know, probably something probably happened back there. Anyway, but what they'll probably do is say, I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, I need to get out this thunder, and I'm out in the open. Anyway, dang, I done lost my train of thought because I done got caught up in what he was talking about. I don't know, something happened behind me, but anyway, yeah. Long story short, just do your best to just not give in to the gaslight, and do your best to always remember that they set the stage for you. They already let you know that in their minds, and then in someone else's mind, because probably someone told them to come after you. So to somebody's mind, you are powerful enough that they have to actually orchestrate a way to bring you down. Always remember that if anybody has to orchestrate a team effort to bring down one person, that's because that person that person is so powerful that they have to work in a team effort. And not only that, and this other thought just crossed my mind while I was saying that. Not only do they have to put in a team effort to try to bring you down, but in the same mentioning, you probably not even knowing just how, because most of us don't know how powerful we really are. Like, we really are. Like, there's so much about our existence that's like locked in our DNA, or there's certain things about us that's kind of like, has been lost and probably smothered in toxins and chemicals and whatever kind of stuff. Let me see. All right. Yeah. And New York City is full of them. So anytime I get within, let's say, I'd like to say within about line of sight, or whenever I get within 12 feet of someone who's probably augmented already, they already start to show signs of discomfort. They can't even stand still the way they were standing before. Everything about their body language changed. And I kid you not. You need to empower yourself with that. Because you're not doing nothing to these people. Like, neither am I. But they can't help but to try to control something that could possibly destroy them. They can't help but to try to control something that actually might be able to make them feel guilty for the shit that they doing, honestly. Because it's like that's basically where the world is. The world is at a point where everyone is being allowed to do some of the most toxic things that they want. And as long as they're scratching the back of someone who's more toxic than them, they will be all right. I'm not really much into politics or anything like that. I mean, even though I should be into politics, but in the long run, what I'm really trying to say is, I'm not into the parade of politics and the showboating and everything like that, because I don't know. I've been experiencing or noticing so many different things about humanity. I'm just to the point where I kind of realize, I'm like, yo, when is this shift going to happen? Because it looks like humanity is really heading for a terrible shit show, especially here in the U.S. I mean, it's bad right now in France and certain other parts of the world. And I commend them, because some of these other countries are doing their populations are actually doing so much more when it comes to like holding officials accountable. But here in the U.S., I don't know. Like, it's crazy because all right, I get that January 6th was highly. I can't even find the right words for it, but let's just say disruptive. It was highly disruptive, and some would say very nonsensical. But you know what? Here's the thing. There is a place and a time for that very same action. Maybe January 6th wasn't the time for that, but there's definitely a place and a time for that very same action. Because several other countries are dealing with, their populations doing the same thing. But I think one of the better things that they're doing in their countries is they're not only just they're not only just um, they're not only just you know going into the offices and tearing things down and whatnot, but they're going directly to the homes of these politicians. And it's like I don't know, it seems like we just we just happily just allow these let me see. It's like we just happily allow these people to just do whatever they want and please um, with our tax dollars, with our money, with our military, with our cops. I mean, they just do whatever they please. And I'm just like, yo, when is Americans gonna start holding politicians accountable? And it gotta be a collective effort, just like they're doing against us secretly. I mean, it gotta be a collective effort of people willing to um it gotta be a collective effort of people willing to try to see if they can temper some of this secrecy. I mean, like, it's just wild. It's just wild how much of this stuff is going on, and for how long and how deep. And it's like people are giving up their kids for these people. People are selling their parents for these people. People are like, they don't, like, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. But yeah, my girl, she's being targeted bad, and she texted me and told me that her head felt like it was swollen. And I know exactly what that was. Like I said, my girlfriend, she's being targeted heavy. She doesn't get V2K, but I could tell that they've been introducing new tactics or new attacks on her. Her telling me that her head feel like it's swollen, that's new for her, but I experience that all the time, because that's basically them using the energy behind their beams to basically heat the tissue of your brain. And while it's heating, anything you heat, it'll basically, cause molecules to split and gas is released. And next thing you know, once the gas is released, that's when you start to feel that pressure in the head. Why you feel the pressure is also because there's supposed to be like a thin layer of like a film or like some type of thin sheath or something that I forgot what it's called. Is it paramecium? I forgot. But some layer that covers over the entire brain, right? That's supposed to, I think, keep in the cerebral fluid as well. And I think what's happening is when all those chemicals, not chemicals, like the gas and stuff is now starting to fill into the brain, or fill the cavity of the skull, is now creating that pressure. But one thing I realized is, because like even like right now, even at this very moment while I'm talking, they're heating my brain. I mean, they constantly are heating my brain. And I've had them, no, not I've had, but I've heard them say it several times over and over again, whether or not they're telling the truth or not. But I have to take it into consideration. They'll say, Oh, he's not going to be here much longer. Oh, he don't realize the streets is watching. Oh, he doesn't realize um he doesn't realize the military don't want him knowing about technology. Oh, he doesn't realize he's messing with everybody's livelihoods. And I'm like, yo, so everybody is out here helping these child abductors, these molesters, these murderers, these rapists. They out here just helping all of them, right? They out here helping all of these people, right? So then what? So that they could possibly not be fucked over right now? Because, I mean, we all know it's going to happen. Nothing in this world is as simple as all you gotta do is. No, there's no such thing as all you gotta do is. Anytime somebody say all you gotta do, there's always something worse tied behind it, or something that you're not gonna see that's gonna happen after you do that all you had to do. And all of a sudden you're kind of fucked because you fell for the all you gotta do. You know. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to trying to find a place for me and my girlfriend to move in together. And trust and believe, it's not easy, not necessarily saying it's not easy trying to find an apartment, because that's granted, because I live in New York City. There's apartments all over, but are they affordable? But that's a whole nother point. That's a whole nother discussion. The part that makes it hard is that I've at least lived on my own before, so there's certain things that I've already done, and because I've also been through targeting for at least over 2 years now, and understand the psychological, technological, and spiritual, things that are at play here. I also know how important it is for me to be emotionally grounded and knowing how to control, my energy and emotions at all times. Hold on. I don't know, and she's I don't think she is really trying to take in consideration just how deep this thing can go, because I know she really wants to get out of her place that she's living at now, but I try to remind her that you have to temper your emotions, because the one thing that they're relying on is they're relying on you to have these days or these moments where you feel, when you're feeling lowest point emotions. They're relying on these. Why? Because they could just tune you to the emotional frequency of, sadness. They could just tune you, but it's even better if you actually feel like, let's say, disappointment hurts like hell. But if you could actually end up becoming disappointed, and then they can just actually lock on to you while you're in that state of disappointment, and then keep it there. So then they make it harder for you to try to manually raise your vibration above disappointment. That's what they're relying on. They're relying on you to basically fall into these angry states, because you're so frustrated because you had gaslighters all around you all day long, and then all of a sudden when you finally have that moment where you just yell at somebody, that's what they were waiting on. That's what they're waiting on. And a lot of people who probably don't even know that they're TIs, and they're out here just you know, acting out, or acting out in self-defense, really, they don't know that that's what they're waiting on. It's like, I try to continue to like really let people know that you have to be the master and main controller of your energy. They're only just tuning you. They're only just tuning you. You actually are the master remote. You are the master controller. They're just using the universal remote and they're just changing your channel. That's basically it. You have the master remote, but they're just using a universal remote to change your channel. And the thing about learning and knowing how to actually manage your emotions and your energy is you have to be present. And when I say present is you can't be so focused dwelling on things that happened in the past, and you can't be fearful or so hyper focused on things in the future that hasn't happened. The only way you can really be able to tell, like I'm talking about exactly when they're doing something, or just moments, almost milliseconds before they're about to do something, is you have to be in the present. You have to be in the present. And not only just that, you have to ground yourself too. You have to actually go outside every once in a while and put your feet on some dirt. Now, I'm not talking like a man-made lawn or anything like that. I'm talking about go somewhere where there's like real nature or something, and then put your feet in some dirt. Or even if you don't do that, I've been getting the idea to actually, like, whenever I want to go out to like I don't know, somewhere serene or whatever, and I just want to like not be around a lot of people. I realize what I should do is take like a metal rod or a copper rod or something with me when I go outside, and just stick it right in the ground. Stick it right in the ground and then place my hand on it. That way I can start grounding my energy into the earth. The best way to know when they're one of the best ways to know when they're like when too much energy is in you from the attacks is because you haven't been grounding. You gotta take out some of that energy. Once you ground and you do like the radiation sea salt detox bath, you'll feel a huge difference. You'll feel a huge difference in your life. Let me see, what else? I know they're plotting on my life. I've been finding out more information about wireless energy transfers. I've been trying to find more information on different types of cloud services that are involved with human brain interfaces or brain cloud interfaces. Those types of things. I'm trying to put two and two together, and every time I get a little close to finding out some really good information, I get distracted. Somebody want to call me, or somebody needs something, or whatever the case, or they'll basically jam my network service so that I don't have internet service. They'll try a whole bunch of things to try to see if they can get me not to be close to, basically realizing how it all go down. But all right, well, I don't know. I think that's it. That's all I got for now. I feel like I wanted to talk about something else, but I couldn't remember. I'm so hot. And this train is taking forever. It said 2 minutes, and now this 2 minutes does not feel like 2 minutes. It said 2 minutes, but it's definitely taking longer than 2 minutes. Anyway, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.